Hello everyone, Salim here, joining you from central New Jersey. Very cold here and cloudy. So hope wherever you are, you have better weather than I do. Let me just turn my webcam on so you guys can kind of put the face behind the voice. So I came back from Kenya last Friday from like 90-degree weather to like 30-degree weather. So, hey, Victor, how are you? Rainy in California as well. So, who's on the line? Say hello so that before we get rolling, rocking and rolling, and hope you guys can hear and see me and all that good stuff. So, this is our, all right, super, good. Bunch of you. Bunch of you. Jeanette, Marcel, Brian, Darren, Patty, and there's more people who are registered. I can see your name in the attendee list. All right, cool. Let's dive in because I am super excited for this monthly roundtable, which we host. I do this once a month. So the agenda, got some housekeeping stuff. I've got a short teaching segment I want to share with you, something that I see lots of practice owners not missing out on. So we'll talk about that. And then I'm going to open it up for you to share your wins, things that are working for you, accomplishments, and then projects that you're working on, and what do you need help with. And so that's kind of the format for the next 1 hour. All right, so housekeeping first. Coaching roundtable, kind of shared with you the breakdown, so I don't need to go through that. Coaching day, early January 2020 for GPGs. A couple of days, you should have seen something. Put my phone on, what do I put it on? DND, where is DND? Do not disturb, all right. Early December, you should have the dates. If not, shoot out an email to Kimberly, but it should be also on the Facebook page as well. Be sure to go to the Facebook page. Love to get your here, love for you to share your feedback, input, and read what we are posting as well. So coaching day is that. Annual retreat for coaching members, June 2020. So if you wanted to block something off on the calendar, we are in the early stages of planning the retreat, 2-day retreat. We'll start off with an evening cocktail and so forth, and then 2 days. It's going to be in a very nice place where conducive to having fun, outdoor stuff, as well as learning. So it's going to be a big shift from the super conference. This is going to be very intimate and really an opportunity to do both. Enjoy time with yourself, with your family, with those other practitioners, and at the same time, really get some good stuff that'll help your practice. So that's tentatively June 18, 19. It's a Thursday and a Friday, and we haven't even this is like super early stage. We haven't secured a place yet and so forth in the kind of doing that. But those are the 2 days, June 18, 19 we're looking at. And then the new resource for you, CPA Practice Max. You should have received the link, the access to that. So be sure to access that and read through that and watch the videos and so forth. All right, so that's housekeeping. Okay, there's another housekeeping slide here. Live training webinars. So every quarter we do a live training webinar. Next one's in January, mid-January. We'll let you know the date. And so every live training webinar is on a topic: client attraction or championship team or streamline operation. So so that's kind of something we're going to be having in mid-January. Looking forward to that. All right, so what I wanted to cover as far as the teaching segment goes, the practice accelerator that I wanted to talk about is building authority, which is right here. It's part of client attraction and building authority right there, right on the top there. Now, the reason I decided to dive a bit more into this as we finish off the year and start a new year is because I see lots of practice owners, like the majority of practice owners, have not paid much attention to creating their own IP, their own intellectual property, which is building authority. So they're not using this technique or this strategy in their practice, and it's really it's a game changer. You know, when I started learning about building authority and started, implementing it in my own practice, really in both my businesses, it was really a big shift in many different ways. It made a difference in many different ways. Number one is it confirmed for me, it forced me to do the research and to refine what I knew, to be able to articulate that in words or in a speech or on video. So it forced me to do that, and just that process gave me the confidence that I knew what I was talking about, right? So that is one thing that what it does for you is that process just gets you to to be a better communicator and be more confident. And then second thing, what it does for you is it's a great differentiator. It differentiates one practice owner or one firm from many others who have not established or have not created IP. So it's a great way to differentiate yourself and your firm. Third thing, what it does is it gives you an ROI. So whenever you're marketing, and whenever you're marketing, your results are going to be better, bigger, because you've added building authority in it. You've added credibility. You're an author of a book. You're a speaker. You've added that extra additional authority to your name. So so many different reasons why you want to pay attention to this for the new year. For 2020, you want to incorporate building authority as part of what you do. And when you've got a formula, when you've got a system in place on how you go about it, it's actually a lot of fun to be able to create that content. So I want to bring it to you, who's currently creating content on a regular basis? Kind of give me an indication here of who's doing that. You've got some content that you're publishing, putting it out there, broadcasting it on a regular basis. Just kind of give me an indication there of who that is. So kind of cover this. I guess number 3, the third bullet there, building authority, is that it's one of the best ways to market, and this is where it becomes fun, is your marketing, you're growing your practice by education, through giving education. It's going to be your best customer, your best client is going to be one that's educated, one that's taken the time to read something, to watch something. So you're going to work with a more qualified person in all likelihood, and that is going to result in business. Instead of marketing and advertising and going out there and saying, I'm selling services, I can help you from a service standpoint, what you're doing is you're educating people. You're educating folks, and there'll be some that will raise their hand and say, you know what, I like the way you're thinking about it, or the way you've articulated this was really useful. And if you can do this in this free content or this lower priced content, I wonder what you can do if I started paying you, right? So this is the thinking that's going on in their head. Is if you can, if you're able to do this and they're not even your client, the value you're going to bring to the table when they do become your client. So different ways of creating content, building expertise, building credibility, different ways to do that. Writing blog posts, so once a week, couple of times a month, once a month, whatever, you're creating and publishing a blog post. So this is an area on your website, and you're creating an article. So that's what a blog is. It's an online article, right? But it's on your website. So it helps you not only from a search engine optimization standpoint, but if somebody comes on your website and they say, all right, let's see what she's written, what kind of content they've created, they'll see these articles, right? They'll see all these posts on different topics that may be of interest to the person that's on your website. So that's one way to create content, is writing blog posts. Second thing is publishing special reports, publishing a book or ebook. So that's kind of content that can sit on your website as well. If you do any one of those things, special reports or a book or ebook, you could offer it as a lead magnet on your website. So if somebody opts in, somebody shares their email address, opts in, they get that in exchange, and so they're willing to do that. Next one is creating videos that you would then post on your website. That could be part of your blog post. Your blog post could be written articles, and or it could be videos. So once you've created a video, you can put it on your blog post, have it be there, and create your own YouTube channel and post it there. And YouTube is now the second most search engine that's out there. So Google's number one, and the second is YouTube. So once you start creating content and regularly posting content like video content, then you'll build a library of videos that's going to help you. Again, two ways: search engine optimization standpoint, and it's going to help you from building authority. Webinars is the next thing. You can do a webinar for your list, so that's another way of content. And then recording audio seminars, podcasts, and so forth. So the important thing, next slide, is to choose the approach that works for you, right? One that appeals to you, it matches to your abilities, number two, and it's most likely to appeal to your target market. So that's the way you want to be thinking about it there. Now, in my case, recently, I've started more recently, a YouTube channel which is very specific for each business. So for Straight Talk CPAs, I've got a YouTube channel, and then for CPA Marketing Genius, I've got a YouTube channel. And just kind of thinking through this, and and working a few weeks, it evolved into my CPA Marketing Genius videos are longer, and Straight Talk, I decided to give tips, text tips. So those are more shorter in length. And so kind of looking at what's going to appeal to the target market. Yeah, with CPAs, CPA firm owners, they really do want to learn how to grow their practice and make it more profitable, and want to work less, and they want to put systems in place. So I could do a 12-minute, 15-minute, 20-minute video that is really, drills down in one of these topics, and I will have the person watch it because they're so interested in that topic. Now, when it comes to my CPA firm, people want tips. They want like sound bites of something, a nugget, some business wisdom that's going to be helpful to them. And so there, I've seen that shorter is the better way to go. And so in your case, it's kind of what you're going to be looking at. Now, the first bullet here appeals to you. Do you like writing? Are you more of an audio person? You can talk, and then like a podcast? Are you more of a video person? Are you more of someone who's going to enjoy presenting in a seminar setting? Yeah. And so match what that is for you, right? What appeals to you. You know, that's important. If you absolutely hate writing, if you absolutely hate reading, then that's something you may you'll stay away from. But if you're more better on on the visual side, spoken video, then that's kind of that's where you would go. So choose the approach that that works for you. And once you've created the content, then you are distributing it. You're getting it out there. Social media, your website, um, those are your email list. You're getting the content out there in all these ways, right? That's the goal. Create content, get it out there, so that people find you, and they come your way. All right. Any questions that you guys have? I want to make sure that this is totally relevant to what you're thinking in your head. So I've covered a bunch of stuff. Before I go further, questions that you have. When it comes to building authority, what appeals to you? Is it going to be written? Is it going to be spoken? Is it going to be video? What works? What are you thinking? What's going to be right for you? Now, I will say this as you're responding here to my question, is you're not going to be perfect. You're not going to be like 100% comfortable if you haven't written much, which we haven't, right? I mean, as you know, in our profession, we don't do a whole lot of writing. We do some writing, but not a whole lot of writing. So it's not like stuff we're skilled in. So we got to skill up there, and there's ways to do that. And I'm happy to share my secrets when it comes to to how I've been able to prolifically create a ton of content in these past 10 years or so. Darren saying, I want to get more involved with video. It is new for me, but interested in this. Cool. Scott saying, although I haven't done a video yet, I think I could do one. I'm also comfortable writing as well. Good. So you could do both there, Scott. Writing. Now, if you were to do the writing, are you thinking of a blog post? Would that be the writing that you're thinking about? Writing a blog, publishing it on your website, and then distributing it on social media, Facebook, LinkedIn, and so forth. Victor saying, I have a limitation where I have trouble envisioning my audience target. Therefore, I feel unsure what topic I would communicate publicly, but I have plenty to say. Yeah, great question. Great thought process here, Victor. And this is going to be for everyone, really, is what are you going to write about? What are you going to say? And the way to think about it is like, what are the key problems, the 3 problems that your target market makes that you want to teach them to avoid? That's usually like a great place to start. 7 mistakes, 5 mistakes to avoid, 3 mistakes to avoid. Usually with a content piece, 3 is plenty. And it could be that 3 mistakes to avoid, stuff that they want to avoid, or 3 things to do to save money on taxes, 3 things to improve your cash flow, 3 things, the 3 most important things to double your net profit. So it could be something along those lines, right? Dennis saying, I've done a few videos, but feel more comfortable writing, and I've done much more of that. Awesome, cool. So that's Denny saying writing is more comfortable. So Denny, are you thinking along the lines of, you said you're already doing it in the previous thing. comment that you shared. Are you thinking of like a blog post? What are you thinking when it comes to writing? Scott saying blog post or newsletter. So is this like a print newsletter, Scott? Or is it an e-newsletter? And an e-newsletter is just writing, writing an email with content in it. And usually what we do is we'll, to promote the blog post to our list, we'll write the email, a short email saying, hey, I just posted a blog post that you can read by clicking here. And when they click on the email, the link, they'll go to the website in the blog post section. Denny's saying, I've got a couple of books. Also do an email that is also posted to a blog. Awesome, good. So you're doing a blog on a regular basis. That's good. You've got a couple of books. Now, when you've got a couple of books, there's a lot of content right there, right? So anyone who's got a book, if you've gone through the effort of writing a book, then you've got the content, and you can pull bits and pieces of it for each piece. The other thing that I'm going to share when it comes to creating content and ideas for that is things that are happening in your personal life as well. Sharing personal wins, personal successes, challenges, just being more, being transparent with that. And that's part of the content, part of creating content. Your day-to-day life, people like to, you'll just relate more to them. You'll relate and connect more with people with that type of content than the technical stuff. So you want to balance the two. Content that's technical in nature, that's going to be helpful to them, and content that's more personal in nature, and you can always draw out from it a valuable lesson for them, right? And so it could be any of that, or a vacation that you take, and you can shoot a video from there, or you can write something from there. Recently, I just got back from Kenya, as I told you guys, as you know, and I shot a video from there, from the beach. It's just the right perfect setup. Is sunset, evening is beautiful. And I said, you know what? I've got my phone with me. I'm going to shoot a quick video. My family was kind of getting ready for dinner, and I shot a short video. How many of you guys saw that video that I recently shot from Kenya? Brian saying, I hired a company to do short Facebook and LinkedIn blurbs for me on a daily basis. They write it and I review them and submit them. It is then posted daily automatically. Cool, awesome. Yeah, that's great, Brian. So you've got the social media stuff, and that's good. That's short posts. Add to that the blog posts that are that get on your website. So a bunch of you are saying you saw that video. Both videos, yeah. So there was one that I shot at the airport, and this was like totally off the cuff. It's like my flight, they made the announcement, and the people that were boarding, I'm like, man, it would be great to shoot a video now and say, hey, I'm leaving the country, and there's going to be a level of curiosity that I can, that I can put in the email. Because whenever you're creating content, it doesn't mean people are going to read it. So you got to make it enticing, the best you can. And that's a challenge. There's so much content, right? So you got to make ours enticing. So sometimes in my subject lines, I'll say video in parentheses, and then the subject line, or we'll say picture, just so that people want to watch a picture, or they want to watch a video. It'll attract them. It'll entice them rather to open up that the piece of content that you're sending. And so so that's kind of what you're looking at, right? When you're creating content, you've got to make it juicy, that people are going to open it, And so when you say 3 mistakes people make, make it as enticing as you can. 3 mistakes, uh, you know, can think of how I would make it enticing. 3 mistakes most business owners, 99% of business owners make. Like, get that person who is watching and saying, man, I wonder, am I making this mistake? And they open it, right? And then they're getting into it. And then it's your energy and enthusiasm and all that stuff where you say, man, I work a lot with business owners and I see this mistake being made over and over again. And it sickens me in my tummy when I see this. So these are the 3 mistakes. Number 1, this. Number 2, this. Number 3, this. And so forth, right? That's your piece. That's your content piece right there. So Victor says, I saw your airport video. Haven't seen the beach one. So it's floating around somewhere, Victor, the beach one as well. It was shot because many of you are saying that you saw the one from, yeah, it's the video from Kenya. Nice beach, says Danny. Yeah, it was cool. Man, white sand, like pure white sand. It was just amazing. The water temperature was in the mid 80s and so forth. So yeah, just beautiful. All right. So that's building authority. Any other questions that you have on the subject of building authority? Once you get on it, it's fun and you're helping out. You're creating good content for people that is going to be, of value to them. And so kind of be, be looking at it from that standpoint. So be generous. Be generous with, don't keep any secrets or don't keep any information. Just say it. Just like your best strategies, you can share them. You don't need to, worry about somebody's gonna steal them and then they won't need you. And there is going to be that for sure. There's people that that'll never be your client, right? They'll take your content and they may pass it on to their accountant or they may use it themselves, and that's fine. That's your contribution to the world. But there are going to be people that are going to consume it and they're gonna enjoy it, and they'll decide they want to do the next step. So whatever the next step is, right? Whenever you're creating content, always have a next step. Or not always, but make sure that some pieces you've got a next step. Sometimes you just want to bring content with no next step. Like my beach video probably did not have a next step because I just wanted it to come to my list. If I'm promoting all the time, then I kind of lose the connection with the audience, right? So you don't always want to come from a promotion standpoint. Sometimes it's going to be, hey, I just thought this would be useful to you. Have a great whatever, Thanksgiving, Christmas, whatever it is, right? If it may not even be a holiday per se, but you're just coming from a place of giving, sharing good content. All right. Any questions? Please feel free to share because I wanna, I want this to come to you wherever you're at, whatever you're thinking, whether you're doing the content stuff. I think many people are not. Or it's like, where do you start? What do you do? Like, what are those common things in your mind or, obstacles that I can help clarify to get you to be more prolific with content. So I'll kind of keep that open in terms of, the next 30 minutes or so. Any questions come up with from that standpoint, please share and I'll come back. I'll circle around to it. All right, let's move on next to your wins. What are your wins? What have your wins been the last month since we've spoken? What are some good things that have happened on your side? Share, take a few seconds and share those. Big wins, big, small, medium wins. Maybe you signed up a client or several clients. Maybe you raised the fees. Maybe you got a good project, a new project. Maybe you are further ahead in hiring someone. Maybe you're further ahead in firing someone. Maybe you're getting ready for tax season, and that's going well for you. Maybe you just booked your tickets for the New Jersey coaching day in January. Few more seconds. And I like reading this because it just tells you all the good stuff you guys are doing. All right, super. If you're still typing, please continue and I'll share what folks have written already. Brian saying, got Clarity Practice Management up and running and the team is starting to use it. Also, weekly meeting we just started led to a great brainstorming session on how to implement value-added packages to your firm. Awesome, cool. Good job there, Brian. Darren saying significant progress in preparing for peer review. It has helped us with staff development and expectations. We have hired one accountant and one payroll specialist. We're excited to have on the team. Good, beautiful. So Darren, pay attention to the onboarding process. Hiring means onboarding. Make sure you're just doing that onboarding. You're getting them up to speed in the best possible way. And people do take time. So that's one of the things, people are, practice owners underestimate, not to say you're doing this, Darren, but practice owners underestimate how long it takes to get somebody onboarded. You do everything you can and then let them find their way as well. Like give them the time, right? Give them the time. It's not like 1 day or 2 days and they know everything, right? It's 3 to 6 months, sometimes a year. You've got to see progress all along. If you're not seeing the progress, then yeah, that's not the right person. But assuming you're seeing progress, don't expect them to be like 100% there in a week. And you'll be surprised at how many practice owners I talk to is like a week and they want the person to be like doing all sorts of things. That's not going to happen. Your company, the systems, everything is new for somebody you're hired. So, it takes some time. Raymond saying, received the printed copies of our second book yesterday and also sold a text plan that saved the client $90K. My goodness, that's so good. Wow, that's beautiful, Raymond. Two great things you shared there. You got your second copy of the books, and I'd love to get a copy of that second book. And then you sold the text, you saved this client so much money. Like 90K is not a small chunk of change, is it? Hey, Harry. Harry saying the engagement letters that you gave me are helping. Awesome, cool. Let's get that rolling into the new clients that you sign up. That's usually the first thing to do is get the engagement letter and start using it on new clients, and then start using it on existing clients and converting them onto those. Good stuff there, Harry. Scott saying, hey Scott, I heard you're in like Mexico, resort vacationing there. Are you? I was talking to Kimberly. She's like, Scott's in town, and I may be meeting with him for whatever. I don't know. Puerto Vallarta. I should be joining you guys. Getting away from this cold winter, but I will be flying to Florida tomorrow. So Only one more day in cold New Jersey. All right, Scott's saying 2 new bookkeeping clients and 1 new business consulting client. Also in the growing community that I've been attending 80% of the event. I found someone willing to share an office 1 day a week during tax season. This will be another way to get into that market. Awesome, good. You know, that's networking, is you find these other opportunities. I mean, that was just amazing for me. You know, when I joined a networking group many years back, you know, you get business from it for sure, but you get so much else. You get other service providers, other services, and just like resources, right? And your case in point here with what you've done there. Denny's saying, sold a $3,500 tax plan this morning, have been more doing better at charging non-monthly clients for meetings. Way to go. Awesome. Good. I think everyone here, you know, you want to be you want to be able to charge, you want to charge the right fees. You want to be able to package things up and charge for things that are above and beyond. You've got one of my clients who is selling he owns like 5 businesses or something like that, and he is selling one. And one of my team members was saying, Salim, we should, you know, I'm going to be packaging this so it's a deliverable of, you know, the whole process of how all the things to help this client sell their business and fill out the right forms, calculate the gain, and all that stuff, right? It could be given away for free, or it could have a price tag of $3,000 or $5,000. So it's all about that. Giving value and receiving the fees, the right fees in return. Jerry is saying new monthly consulting client signed up for $4,260 per year, completed employment ad and ready to post on Indeed. Awesome. Good things there, Jerry. And enjoyed working with you on the ad. You've got I think it's a stellar ad. And I think you should post it on the Facebook, on the Facebook page of the GPG site, so others can use it if you're willing to do that. I think it was a really good stuff what you did there. Darren saying, we have developed our core values for building a quality team and putting them into practice. Awesome, great, good. Perfect thing to be talk about during your weekly meetings. And not, you know, it doesn't have to be every meeting, but it can be done frequently. Is talk about one of those core values or bring up the core values conversation in that meeting. Jeff, how are you? Saying prepare for the package for tax and part-time CFO and start hiring. So cool, awesome. Good things there. Jeanette, you've been quiet, saying one of our staff was accepted at UCF, that's University of Central Florida, and will be starting grad school in January. Awesome, good. Hopefully this person continues working with you, Jeanette. Darren saying, we'll definitely keep the onboarding process as the focus of developing both of them. Thank you for that. Welcome. Patty saying, hey, Patty, how are you? Jeanette and I will be going this evening to set up for our booth for the Atticus conference taking place tomorrow and Friday. I was wondering when that was, so good. Tomorrow, Thursday and Friday, cool. We have some nifty giveaways and are excited for this opportunity to be in front of 200 attorneys. Awesome, good. That's great. I know your last one resulted in a couple of clients, which more than paid off for the conference. So looking for similar stuff this year. Yes, Scott saying Puerto Vallarta. Cool. Good for you, man. Darren saying Neil did a group presentation yesterday for small business owners. Awesome. Good. What kind of follow-up can you be doing that would be right, Darren, Neil? You know, be thinking about what kind of follow-up, because follow-up is critical. I just recently read a book, I think when I was in Kenya, on my flight back from Kenya. By the way, when I was flying to Kenya, it was a direct flight from JFK to Nairobi. It's like a 14-hour flight. And next to me was sitting a doctor who's, a doctor in Maryland. He lives in, he's got a residence in Maryland, and then he loves Kenya, so he's practicing in Nairobi as well on a part-time basis. He works a couple of days a week, and he works in a farm, and in that farm they train service dogs. So he's very friendly. His name was my goodness, what was his name? uh, Escapes me now. His name escapes me, but he was very, very friendly, and comes in, shakes my hand, and says, we just start talking, which was great. And he's like, what I have as a pet? And it's like, all right, this guy's he's American, he's in Africa, probably like a chicken or a goat or something. He's a novelty, right? For people that I hear, usually it's a cat or a dog, right? So I'm like, all right, chicken or a goat or a snake. He's like, no. And I'm like, It says lion. He says, yep, it's a lion. So he had a lion cub as a pet that he had adopted when he was 6 months old, and now the lion's like 3 years old, and he still has, keeps the lion in his backyard. But so these are the types of people that you encounter when you are going to a country like Africa. Is somebody who's got a lion in their backyard, and he was so friendly. And he's like, Salim, you should come home, man, check out. And I had a direct flight, then another flight going to my home, to Mombasa, which is where I spend most of my time. I'm like, man, I just have like a 90-minute stop in Nairobi, and then I've got a direct flight there. Because I was like, in my head, I was like, can I cancel my flight? Can I do that? I was just going for a week, so I'm like, no, just kind of stick with the plan. But it's an interesting encounter. It was an interesting encounter. All right, Victor saying, solved a low producing employee problem, started arranging transition for them to take their unwanted clients with them to do independently. Will transition the rest of his clients for QuickBooks Online and sharing bookkeeping work with internal client staff. All right, got a lot going on there, man, and it continues. Created an engagement letter proposal for non-monthly clients to cover 2019 tax planning and tax prep packages using new practice ignition program for all engagement letters. Created reusable structure for tax planning project instead of doing tax planning on the fly without documentation and without formally charging and communicating value. Awesome, good stuff, man. What I love here, Victor, is that you're creating a system for it, right? A system that can be replicated. And so that's great. Everyone should, if you're doing tax planning, get this process documented so that next year you can have somebody else helping you do it, or somebody else entirely doing it without you doing it if you chose not to. Jeanette saying she'll be working part-time. So this is the one who's going to be attending the grad school. We're interviewing staff now to hire an additional person. Awesome, good. Some good wins there. Beautiful. Everyone shared. Great. Good stuff. Good stuff. Cool. You should be proud of yourselves. All right, let's move on. Lost track of time here. 1:46. What are you working on? Over the next couple of weeks before the clock strikes midnight, December 31st, or maybe before Christmas, what are some of the things you're working on? Things you'd like to make headway on? What are those one or two things that you absolutely want to get done? And those are, they've been on your thing, you wanna finish off. You don't want to finish the year off without completing them. The big ones, the big things, the most important things, or the most important results that you're looking for in the next few weeks. What are you working on next couple of weeks, or what kind of results are you going to be looking to get over the next couple of weeks? Few more seconds for you to share the kinds of things, the 2 or 3 things you'd like to put to bed, you'd like to accomplish before year end. What are those? All right, let me share what you guys have said. So you'll kind of see what the others are, the 2 or 3 things they're looking for. And the best part here is, doing this, getting it, writing this down, it gets you focused, even more focused, right, to accomplishing these couple of things before the year end. All right, let's see. Brian, you started us off again. Thank you. Saying, wasn't happy with our tax season procedures last year, seemed very scattered and unorganized. Need to get a better process and workflow structure for upcoming tax season. Awesome, good, very clear on that. By the way, Brian, you attended an intensive recently, and Kendra sent me a card. Thank you there. Thank you, card. Thank you for the wonderful experience in LA. It was LA, not New Jersey. I'm excited to put into action the things I learned. Can't wait for the next one in New Jersey. Awesome. Great meeting you and Kendra in LA. And I've done several of these this year, the intensives. This was my last year with intensives. And I've kind of lost track of who I met where. So sorry, it was in LA. And I was there for the week with intensive, and then I attended an event in LA as well. Where was it? Huntington Beach. All right. Cool. Thanks, Brian. Very clear there. Jerry, hiring high quality admin person. Good. Let's get that process rolling, right? You're getting the ad in today in Indeed. Resumes are going to be coming in, and then the interviewing process, right? 2-step interviewing process, phone interview, and then the best ones to shortlist, right? You'll get so many resumes and then shortlist the best ones that you'll interview. So good. Patty's saying lots of tax planning, trying to finish up our website and content. Good. Awesome. Darren saying we're currently doing weekly staff meetings and committed to having employee coaching sessions to give employees more real-time feedback. Also website development and finalize bundled services agreement for business and individual clients. Super. Jeff saying standardized process for bookkeeping, tax prep, looking for practice management. Look for the practice management system. Cool. Jeanette saying number 1, getting tax estimates prepared for clients. Number 2, getting engagement letters and organizers prepared and ready to send out to clients. Number 3, get web content updated. Super. Scott, working on tax automation and efficiency, accepting credit card payments, tax portal, using GruntWorks for basic tax returns. Super, good stuff. You guys are like working on the stuff for, preparing and planning ahead for tax season. So that's great. Victor saying, find admin person replacement for vacancy. Find bookkeeper assistant to absorb bookkeeping staff from staff so we can concentrate on tax during tax season. Cool, awesome, good. Find those right people. Guys, Victor, Jerry, you both looking for people, so just be very diligent in finding the right person. Skill and attitude, right? Look for those 2 things. Skill skill, one, and then attitude, number two, right? You can have a person who's got the skill, but if they don't have the attitude, not the right fit. And I'd rather have somebody who's got the attitude and then train them for the skill, right? So attitude is more important. Skill is trainable, attitude is not. If somebody's got it, they've got it. If they don't, they don't, right? So, and the way to find out if they've got the right attitude is your questions have to be surrounding the core values. Like, you know, from a core value character standpoint, are they gonna fit into your culture? So that's a great way to find if somebody's got the right attitude, the right character. And there'll be a good culture fit in your organization. Raymond saying, working on new fillable organizers that can be completed online or be printed and filled out, setting up new software for the season, next step training on it. Beautiful, great, good. Danny saying, finish the year-end tax planning meetings with existing clients, refine our tax prep procedures. Awesome, good stuff, guys. Lots of good stuff happening, lots of working on it, right? We're doing the working in it, but you're smart that you're working on it as well, so that in the future that can be delegated. When you're doing the working on it, you're creating a system, you're creating a process, a procedure in the process of doing it. All right, we are going to finish off shortly. What do you need help with? Questions that you have that you'd like answered. Jeanette's asking a question. Do you have a list of interview questions that focus on core values? Yeah, absolutely. There is a training, CPA Practice Max, the new course that I created and given you access to in one of the weeks. Can't remember offhand. Maybe I can, maybe I cannot. But one of those weeks there is a thing on that has interview questions later on in the, so it's 10 weeks. I've broken it down into 10 weeks. A little later on you'll see the title, which will give you the clue, Jeanette, that it's got the interview questions there as well. And those are really good questions. They're pretty, it covers, there's a lot of, it covers a lot of stuff there. So for Jerry and the people that are looking for, that are going to be interviewing Victor and anyone else, be sure to, Jeanette, you too, you mentioned that, be sure to, go through that. Is a refresher. Jeff saying, any good practice management system to recommend to centralize tax, Drake software and QuickBooks Online? Folks, any suggestions? Good practice management system? Feel free to share those just so that Jeff has a few options. Victor saying, what deliverables to include and what should be the minimum charge for 2019 tax planning projections, tax prep work? What should be the minimum charge for 2008? I mean, that's, you've got a few things going on there. You've got tax planning, you say, you've got the projections, and you've got tax prep. I mean, tax planning can be, Denny said 3,500 for, one of the tax plans he sold. Raymond, you sold a tax plan that saved the person $90,000 in taxes. What was the fee for that? So, I mean, you're getting a sense here, Victor, that it's going to be several $1,000s. So I've seen, tax planning packages go from 3,500 to 6,000 a year, or for the tax planning, and it could be more. I mean, like 90,000, saving somebody 90,000. That's a good amount of money. However you look at it, even for a billionaire, that's a good amount of money. Good. Wow. time's rolling here. Let's finish off with biggest takeaway. So Raymond, you're saying, Raymond said, unfortunately, I quoted a fee prior to completing the tax plan, so it was only 3,500, but should have been more. Yeah, that's great value, right? Raymond, so, perhaps I hear you. Perhaps you can offer the next year's plan or, pre-sell next year's plan or for now already and collect money for that at 5,000 or something. That's an option, or break it into 2 payments or something like that. And for 2020, so 3,500, because you've created so much value and credibility with this client, saving them so much money that you could pre-sell the following year's plan if you chose to. All right, biggest takeaway, folks. Then we're going to finish in the next 60 seconds. Biggest takeaway. What are you walking away with? All right, I'll quickly share the responses coming. Jerry saying, biggest takeaway when hiring, look for skill and attitude first. Awesome. Scott saying, need to think about how to build authority and what channels to do that in. Awesome. Victor saying, I'm making progress but have a lot of work to do. Victor, delegate. More, delegate more. Darren, the importance of creating content to establish our authority. Awesome. Danny, create a calendar for releasing content. Awesome. Jeanette saying, I need to calendar time to work on content to build authority. Awesome. Brian saying, need to find at least one more method of presenting information to clients. One more method. Not exactly sure what you mean by that, but all good. If there's any questions, Brian, anything I can help, feel free to send an email or Facebook, put that question on Facebook, since I didn't exactly. Oh, there you go. That is blogs, videos, etc. Got it. Cool. Raymond saying creating video content to build authority. Awesome. Patty saying need to work on building authority. Cool. Awesome. Good. All right, folks. It was great having you. Thanks for tuning in. And I shall see you soon. Bye. Take care.